This is day 5 of our Leetcode daily question series, and today's question is find common characters. In this question, we are given with a vector of the multiple strings, and we have to determine the common characters in every string, and return them in a vector of strings. So our approach will be to calculate frequency of every character in the first string and then next string and take intersection of both, and then again take the frequency of third string and intersection with the starting both intersections, and repeat this process again and again to determine which characters are repeating in the same are common in the vector. We will first make a vector string as our answer, which we will return as our answer, and initialize some integer values I, j, and n equals to size of the given vector. And we will make three vectors v 26, 101. Why we are declaring 101? Because we want to take intersection, and we want to take intersection again and again. So if we want to intersection with the first string and we don't have any successor of that string, so we will take the string of size 26, take the vector of 26, and we will declare frequency at once as highest frequency, because as the given constraints, the highest word length is 100. So there is no character that can be repeated more than 100 times. So we can take 101 as frequency of all characters in the starting, and then take intersection again and again and again. And for calculating frequency of the next characters of the first word or second word to determine the intersection, we will just simply create a vector v2 and insert the values of frequencies. And v3 equals to v2 is declared as if we determine some frequencies of let's say string 1, and after that we have to calculate the values of string 2, but before that we have to clear the v2 string. So we will clear the v2 string like this, v3 equals to vt. So we will just, after the for loop execution of the first string or the next string or every string, we will write v2 equals to v3. So v2 will again become same. So these are the vectors we have created at the starting. V of size 26, initializing every value as 101, and these are corresponded to the characters A to Z similarly. And also v2 initialized in the same way, but every character is initialized as 0 frequency. And v3 equals to v2, which is same. And the input word is given as b, b, c, a, b, b, d, d, c. Let's say it is an example I have taken. So the frequency of the first string will be b equals to 2. Here it will 2 and c equals to 1. And let's see how is this running. So what we will do, we will run a for loop for every word in the vector, and for every word we will again run a for loop, and we will do this procedure v2 of int words ij minus a plus plus. So it will determine the sky value of the first character, let's say b. So the sky value of b will be extracted. Sky value of b is 98. 98 minus sky value of a, 98 minus 97 will be 1. So v2 of one index. So at the first index, v2 will be incremented. So we will store values of v2 of b. So let's say for the first word, for I equals to 0, I less than n, I will be here, and j. So words of ij will be b, and so v2 of int words ij minus a plus plus. What this statement will do, int of words ij will give the sky value of b. So sky value of b is 98, and 98 minus a, 98 minus 97. So v2 of 98 minus 97 is v2 of 1. So at first index, v2 will be incremented. So this value will be 1. And again, as the for loop executes, and j will be here at the second b. So again this statement will execute same just like before, and the incremented value will be 2. So as it will goes to c, the v2 of int words ij minus a plus plus will do int of words ij will give the sky value of c. So the value of c is 100, and 100 minus a, 97 is 3. So sorry, 99, SI value of C is 99, so 97 minus 90, 98, 99 minus 97 will be V2 of 2. So at the second index the value will be incremented, and after this loop execution, jth loop execution, as the first word is completed, we will do this task. It is to find the intersection. So we will just run a loop from 0 to 26 for both the upper two vectors, and Vj equals to minimum of Vj comma V2 of j. So Vj will be minimum of both the characters to take the intersection. So minimum of these two is 0, so V will be updated as 0 right here, and again minimum of these two is 2, so V2 will be updated like this. Minimum of these two will be 1, so this will be updated like this. Minimum of these two is 0, so this will be updated like this. Minimum of these two is again 0, this will be updated like 0. Minimum of these two is again 0, it will be updated like this. And again the for loop will be executed, and again as the for next word it loop. So before this V2 equals to V3. So as we want to extract the frequency of every character of the next string, we want to delete some frequencies right here so that it will not generate any error. So V2 equals to V3, what will it do is it again initializes all the frequencies as 0. As V2 equals to V3, here all the frequencies are 0. So V2 will become this 0, 0, and now we can run the loop again. So for the next word there are 3 A's and 1 B, so V2 will be incremented like this after the execution. 3 and 1 B will be here, 1. And after this we will find the intersection with the minimum of Vj and V2 of j. So minimum of these two is 0, so it will be same as 0. Minimum of these two is 1, so B2 here it will be updated like this. And after this again this loop is executed, so V2 equals to V3, so this value will be 0, this value will be 0, here V2 equals to V3. And again as the for loop executed for the third word BDDC, D will be incremented by 2 after the first loop execution, and C will be incremented by 1, B will be incremented also by 1. And let's say we again find the intersection with this loop. Vj equals to minimum of Vj comma V2j. Minimum of these two is 0, minimum of these two is 1, minimum of these two is also 1. Okay. Sorry, before the last loop execution when C was 0. See here there was no C, so intersection was 0. And after this minimum of these two is also 0, so it will be same. Minimum of these two is also 0. So after the whole execution, as this loop ends, V2 equals to V3, and this for loop will terminate after all these words execution. So we will get the final vector like this, and this will store frequency of every repeated character. So our repeated character is B, and B is repeated 1 times and no other character is repeated, and which is our final answer. As you can also see with the input, only B is repeated 1 time, as here it is only 1 B, and here it is only 1 B, here there are 2 B's. So B is repeated 1 time, A is in this string but A is not in these, C in both of these but is not in the middle one, so B is our final answer. And B is repeated 1 time, so our vector will look like, our final vector will look like this. And let's say how we will generate our final answer. Let's see how we will generate our final answer with this final V string, V vector, which contains the frequency of every repeated character. So let's see that. Okay. So this was our first for loop which we were executing for extracting the frequency, and this is how we will generate our answer, because we have to return the answer with the values of the strings, not like the characters. So we will convert the ASCII values in the characters. And how we will do this is we will just run loop from I equals to 0, I less than 26. So this will run from right here to 25, and after that for j equals to 0, j less than vi, j plus plus. And by this for loop we will push the values which are the frequency of values which are there. So let's say for j equals to j 0, j less than vi, j plus plus. How will this loop work? And right here this is 0, so this loop will not run a single time, and here the loop will run one time as j equals to 0, j less than vi, j less than 1, j plus plus. So this loop will run, and after j will be counted, j equals to 1, which will not be less than 1, so the loop will terminate. So we will do answer dot pushback string 1 comma a plus I. This method is same as initializing string of size 1 and initializing every values with a plus I. And this method of initializing a string is same as we create vector, and before comma it is the size of the vector, so it is the size of string, and after comma it is the value which we want to append in the vector. So we will do string 1 comma a plus I, as we want every string of size 1, and we will append the values, and we will push these values in our answer, which will be our final output to return. So how will this work is string 1 comma a plus I. A plus I will work like, as here I is 1, so a plus I will be 97 plus 1, 98, and the value of sky value of 98 is corresponding to the character b. So character b will be pushed back in the our string vector. So it will look like here it will be b, and after this whole loop execution we will return the answer. So let's submit the code once again. So our code is accepted. Thank you for watching.